Medidate, the super easy, lightweight studio management software. So if you're a studio and you're in need of some sort of management tool, you're probably in the right place. In this video, we will talk about the first sign up. So let's jump right into it. You press on the sign up, enter your name, make sure you agree to the terms and conditions. Let's create the account. I'm going to ask you if you're a teacher or a studio. So let's say we're a studio, enter the name of the studio, and choose your bank country, meaning where the studio operates, where it pays taxes. So let's say it's in the United States, and next. So now we're just going to walk through a few setups. Okay, so first of all, we're going to enter a few details about the studio. I highly recommend adding some sort of photo or the logo of the studio. You can enter the city, you can write a few details about the studio in the description below, and press next. Okay, so in this page, we're going to configure the cancellation and registration policy the studio operates. So we'll briefly go through the options, but we're going to have another video talking about the profile page, and there we're going to go into more details. Allow students to sign into class freely through the Medidate app, even without a valid plan to the studio. Requires health statement to be filled to sign into class. Basically, if this is ticked, then when they try to sign into class, it'll check if they have a health statement. Same thing goes to the terms of the studio. Allow cancellation until hours before class begins in application. So if it's 0, they can cancel whenever they want. If you put a number here, then they will be able to cancel the class that amount of hours before the class begins. And we have allow sign up only hours before class begins in application. So if you want to restrict the sign into class through the app a few hours before the class begins, then you'll put a value here. Again, 0 means you can register whenever you want. And let's move on. Are you planning to have your students sign up to classes through the Medidate app? So if this is the case, we highly recommend to send invitations to the Medidate app when adding students to the studio. So when you add a new student to the studio, they'll receive an email with the details to log in and a download link to the app, and they can start signing in. Have students receive emails when their plan is about to end, if you want them to get a notification about that. Send push notifications when session about to begin. Would you like students through the app get a notification about 2 hours before the class begins? Okay, let's move on. What other things would you like to get notified about? So let's go through the options. Get an email when someone joined my session. Get an email when someone left my session. So these are options that you can use if you want to get an email when someone signed into class or signed out of class. You don't have to use this because you can sign into the app, to the Medidate app, with the studio's login details, and then you'll also receive notifications about it. So if you don't want to get your email clogged, you can just use the notifications to the app. Get an email when someone enters the session waiting list. Then we have get an email when someone tried to sign up to a session not within policy range. So if someone tried to sign into class, but it's not inside the range where they can sign into class, you can get an email about that. Same goes to the cancellation. Get an email when someone tried to cancel their sign up to a class. You can get notified about that. Let's move on. Okay, so one last thing. You can configure, of course, the language, probably English. You can configure the time format that you want to use. And we have 2 last options. Hide students' attendance from others in Medidate. So inside the app, inside a class, if you want to hide the students that are signed into class from other students using the app, then you should tick this. If you want to hide the number of attenders in a session from others in Medidate, then you'll tick this. And let's press done, and we're in the home page. Thank you for watching.